In this lecture, we shall understand the concepts of a Dockerfile and learn how to build a simple Dockerfile. Okay, so Docker can build images automatically by reading instructions from a Dockerfile, which is nothing but a text document that contains all the commands a user could call on the command line to assemble an image. In other words, it is a text file that Docker reads from top to bottom. Now it contains a bunch of instructions which informs Docker how the Docker image should be built. Now a Docker image consists of read-only layers, each of which represents a Dockerfile instruction. Now the layers are stacked and each one is a delta of the changes from the previous layer. That means it's a differential change from the previous layer. Now it could be thought to be anonymous or synonymous with cooking, where we have recipe. The recipe has all the steps we must take in order to produce what is being cooked. So some Dockerfile basics. So before we construct our Dockerfile, we need to understand what makes up the file. This will be a text file named Dockerfile that includes specific keywords that dictate how to build a specific image. The specific keywords you can use in a file are copy. The copy command copies the files and folders from a source on the host into the container's own file system at the set destination. For example, copy myapp/config/production, that's on the source, that is on the host, and /myapp/config, that's the directory copy or the folder copy. So from this hierarchy of folder on the host, it is copied with this specific hierarchy, myapp/config on the container. Okay, and similarly, this command copies myapp/target/myapp.jar, that is jar file for Java, to this destination. All right, and cmd is another command that can be used for executing a specific command within the container. So there's an example of cmd. So command, this is a command which is actually running an exe file, and this is the argument. Okay, an entry point sets a default application to be used every time a container is created with the image. So this entry point, this example, .NET command is always associated with the DLL, which is Blazor server with docker.dll. This is a web app which is named Blazor server with Docker, and it creates the DLL. Okay, so when the release version is built. Okay, now environment sets the environment variable. For example, env my_var 123 sets up the value of my_var variable to 123. Expose is another of the Docker commands, Dockerfile commands, which associates a specific port to enable networking between the container and the outside world. For example, expose 8080. So that is a port which is on the host, and it is mapped to certain port on the container. And from defines the base image used to start the build process. That is from mcr.microsoft.com. This link /.net/core/ASP.NET:3.0 Buster Slim as base. This is a Microsoft image from the Microsoft Docker, and it's the Linux image actually. And next command is run. Run is the central executing directive for Docker files. So this will make most sense when you examine this run.NET build. So .NET build command is run, and what it does is it works with the project file, Blazor server with docker.cs project file, and configures a release version at the output directory /app/build. And work directory sets workdir sets the working directory inside the container. For example, work directory /app. So this is setting the app directory on the Containerize the work directory. And label allows you to add a label to your Docker image. For example, label version equals 1.0. Now, next we'll examine a Dockerfile. So this is a Dockerfile. Now, each instruction creates one layer. Creates one layer from the Ubuntu 18.04 Docker image, Ubuntu Linux, and copy adds the files from your Docker client's current directory, and run builds your application with make, and CMD specifies what command to run within this container. Here it executes the command Python, and it maps to this Python file /app/app.py. Now, in usage, the Docker build command builds an image from a Dockerfile and a context. The build's context is the set of files at a specified location path or URL. So path is a directory on your local file system, and URL is a Git repository location. A path includes any subdirectories, and a URL includes the repository and its submodules. Now, this particular command, $docker build dot, this example shows a build command that uses the current directory as the context. This dot points to the current directory in the context as the context. Now, there is a bit of a word of caution. Do not use your root directory /dot as the path, as it causes the builds to transfer the entire contents of your hard drive to the Docker daemon. And what is a Docker daemon? A Docker daemon is a persistent background process that manages Docker images, containers, networks, and storage volumes. A Docker daemon constantly listens for Docker API requests and processes them. Okay. Now, traditionally, the Dockerfile is called Dockerfile and is located in the root of the context. We use the F flag with Docker build to point to a Dockerfile anywhere in the file system. So, for example, $docker build F flag, and it points to path to a Dockerfile. Okay. So, this dollar is actually not issued. This is only this part is issued. Dollar is actually when the command line is initiated, triggered, it automatically appends this $sign. Okay. The dot at the end refers to the current directory as the. So in this lecture, we have seen what is a Dockerfile and what are the basic or important commands that comprise a Dockerfile, and how to create a simple Dockerfile, and we have also further analyzed the Dockerfile, and we have seen how the Docker build command works. So that is the end of this lecture today. Thank you.